Have you already backed the Broken Empires Kickstarter by Trevor Devall? Me, Myself, and I? Yes, no, maybe so. Maybe you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. Maybe you have something to add to my personal struggles with this. Well, today I would like to discuss why I am strongly considering it, but also why I have not backed it yet. But I've got a few days. And like any good Kickstarter backer, I will wait until the very last minute. Let's explore this together in the sacred art of gaming. Alright, welcome back to the Sacred Art of Gaming. I am Sacred, where we like to discuss everything tabletop role-playing related. The books, the stats, the experiences, all of it. What a wonderful thing to have stumbled upon. So let's get right into it. Broken Empires by Trevor Devall. Very popular Me, Myself, and I YouTube channel. And he's been talking about some things that got me excited. There's a lot of things in there that I'm like, oh my god, this is this is something that I was thinking of doing myself, or wasn't sure how to do it, or whatever. But there are also some reasons that have kind of held me back. So let's talk about some of those things. Number one, he's trying to resolve as many things as possible in a single die roll. I love that. To include things like where that character is hit. So whatever you roll, it's gonna, and it's a D100 system, roll under but roll high. Blackjack style system to give you levels of success. Somewhat similar to Delta Green. I love the narrative, I don't know if consequences is the right word, but I love the narrative implications of it's already been decided that this character is being hit in the hand or the head or the leg, and then maybe those pieces are armored differently. And maybe you have aspects of your character that can change. Maybe you specifically want to hit them in the hand, and you have an aspect of your character where you can change the result so that you do hit them in the hand. I love that. I think that's going to add a lot of narrative tools for the player. Something that has held me back is, you know, he does say it is a sim-like game. So he's more on the simulation side of things, which means, you know, he doesn't want, it's not a rules-light game. Simulation-light. But I'm realizing, like, man, I do like some simulation aspects, but I have noticed that the narrative style games are going to be better for solo play, and it's easier to get solo play going than it is to get a group going. He does have Sean Tompkin working on the solo rules, so like, you know, who's going to, is Sean Tompkin so good of a solo game rules designer that he can take something that's going to be pretty crunchy and really melt it down to be efficient for a solo player? Maybe that's, you know, if he did he's doing a lot of like interviews with different people where he pulled in like Kelsey Dion from Shadow Dark. If he had one with Sean, I think that might be the one that like really pulls me in. I know Sean's dealing with the Kickstarter for Sundered Isles right now, so maybe he's kind of busy. Being able to accomplish many things with the roll has got me excited, and the crunch that we're talking about here, it's a level of crunch that I like. The low HP, I like that too. I don't want to have a ton of HP. You can die fairly easily in his game, and you know what? That's also kind of up my alley. It's a classless system. I dig that. Classes, I think, I'm not against classes, and I get very excited for them in video games, but I think in my tabletop game, I like to have a lot of options at my disposal to make exactly what I want to make. And once I start to see those barriers, that aggravates me. This is going to be based on his world that he built through Me, Myself, and I, which I love that idea. That's almost like if I were to ever release a product of my own, that's exactly what I would do. I would essentially take all the things that I have been building over the years of tabletop gaming and then make that into something. I love that idea. I think that's so cool. I love to repurpose things. I don't like them to go away. I have one character that's almost like Brandon Sanderson-esque, where he kind of hops from game to game. Anyways, so I love that. Skill system, okay, neat. I don't know if we need as many skills that are listed, but sure. Sandbox world, yep, dig it. Something that did excite me that he has talked about multiple times, and I am curious as to how he's going to pull all these things together, is that if his focus is combat, but also social and also exploration, supposedly it's going to be very fleshed out. I'm curious of what that would look like. Yeah. That's because that's definitely one of my complaints in games, is that a lot of games that I enjoy that have excellent combat, the exploration and the social side of it are kind of not ignored. It exists, but it could be better. And I'm just like, why? Why can't we have it all? And I understand you can't really have it all, but like in some way, in some form or fashion, beyond a skill roll, give me something. I guess Savage Worlds kind of does its best to do as many things as possible. Free-form magic system inspired by Ars Magica. Literally, like, from my own mind, this is exactly, like, if I could... He's doing the things that I would have wanted to do, which is pulling from games that he loves. I don't love all the games that he loves, necessarily. I know he keeps talking about Mithras, and every time I look at Mithras, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think it's for me. And same thing with RuneQuest. But yeah, Ars Magica, taking the magic system out of it, which I love so dearly, and then repurposing it in a way, and just how you're pulling on the thread of reality, and the more egregious the thing is that you're trying to do, the bigger the risk. I love that. That is everything that I believe to be true regarding magic. We'll see how it plays out, but I love the idea of options that like Savage Worlds has, which, you know, he also mentioned and also enjoys. So yeah, I love that. I don't really like the idea of like, oh, I know how to do bone spear specifically. Why can't I do other things with bones? Why is it gotta be specifically I throw a bone spear? I like the variable option of it. And then sure, I don't want to be OP, I just like to have options. Feel free to like give me that risk versus reward, which is what he's doing. I think that's it. I think I hit all of the major... Oh, one more thing that I did really enjoy, and honestly I don't do this enough in games. He uses zones, and I've used a version of this that like Professor Dungeon Master has used, but I do like how he has it in maps, where there's zones on the maps. I like that idea. I haven't actually utilized it in that way. I forget which system he said he pulled that specific aspect from, but I've definitely used the idea of like, you know, an NX card RPG, Professor Dungeon Master, where it's like, yes, you know, you have the big circle and the zones and things that are like far away, close, whatever. Or you can use index cards and just be like, ah, yes, you are by the fireplace, you are in the kitchen, you are on the roof, and then roughly how far those things are. But this literally takes a map, almost like a board game, and chunks it out into zones, which is pretty neat. Instead of having to worry about... There's a lot of things that I don't like to worry about. I don't care about movement. And I really don't like making 100 different roles for different things, which, I mean, he's condensing a lot of stuff into one role. And then also like spell area effects, that's another thing that I feel like this solves that problem. If you're in that zone, you get hit. Or if it's a really big fucking fireball or something, excuse my language, you know, maybe it's multiple zones or something. So yeah, those are some things I'm really excited about for the Broken Empires Kickstarter. Will I back it? Will I not? I don't know. What are you gonna do? What are your thoughts? Is there anything that swayed you one way or the other regarding is Kickstarter. I can always get it later. I don't have to get it now. But there's FOMO, and there's also the, oh, well, you won't get all the fun Kickstarter things. I could wait, just like I'm doing with Shadow Dark. But yeah, I don't know. This has been Sacred with the Sacred Art of Gaming. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the fun YouTube things. If you've been digging the content, share it out with your friends. And until next time, this is Sacred out. $50, $80. I guess 80 is not that bad, but realistically, I probably want this core starter bundle.